living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
A new type of savings account is creating more opportunity and changing the lives for those with disabilities and for their friends and families. Today we'll learn about these savings accounts and trusts and how they may be able to help if you or a loved one qualify. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. I'm Sara Medley, your host. You won't want to miss this show. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Healthy Living for Life. Joining us is attorney Heidi Goettel, who's here to discuss ABLE accounts and special needs trusts. Thanks, Heidi, for being on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start by defining what is an ABLE account.
An ABLE account, ABLE stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience Act. So Congress enacted an act to enable people to have tax-advantaged accounts, an ABLE account. It's a lot like a 529 college savings account in that people contribute to the accounts tax-free or after tax, and it grows in the account tax-free. And then you can take out distributions for qualified expenses without incurring tax on it. So a 529 college savings account is for qualified educational expenses. A 529A or ABLE account is for qualified disability expenses. So that's the main difference, is what kind of expenses you can have that tax advantage from. There are some state and federal level tax deductions as well, potentially available for contributions to both 529 college savings accounts and ABLE accounts. So what it really did was extend the benefits of the 529 accounts to people who might not have traditional college education expenses, but who, if they were able to save up over time and have investments, could have different kinds of expenses, which may include education, but also things related to disabilities that would help improve their quality of life. For example, something like an accessible transportation, a wheelchair accessible van that they'd need to save up over time to be able to purchase, but could really improve their quality of life. And the new 2017 Federal Tax Act actually allows people with existing 529 college savings accounts to be able to potentially roll over into an ABLE account. So if someone who has disabilities has a 529 account, and it would be better for them if it was more flexible in a 529A ABLE account for disability-related expenses, they could potentially convert that without penalty under the new regulations. So it's really designed to be flexible and expand those benefits of that particular kind of account. The other really important feature about an ABLE account is that it does not count toward eligibility limits for need-based public benefits like Medicaid and Social Security income. So people can have savings to supplement those kind of benefits. Medicaid is a government health insurance program that's based on financial need, and SSI, Supplemental Security Income, is a basic income provided by the federal government that's also need-based. And the eligibility limit for both of those programs is only $2,000. And so people need to work hard, and sometimes it's challenging to stay below the $2,000 countable resource limit in order to maintain eligibility for those programs that are really valuable for them and that they really rely on for their care and support. So Congress has recognized that $2,000, which hasn't been increased for 30 years and isn't indexed for inflation, really isn't sufficient for people to have a dignified quality of life, if that's all the savings you're permitted to have. And so in acknowledging that, Congress has made some exceptions so that certain things don't count toward that limit. And one of the things that doesn't count now is your savings in a qualified ABLE account.
So let's talk about the hows. How does one set up an ABLE account?
So there's a website that you can go to. It's online at Montana Able, and it's listed on the screen. It's savewithable.com. And if you visit that website, it has all the information you need to know and guides you through the steps to set up and create an Able account.
So can anyone set up this account? So imagine a grandparent that might want to set up an account for a grandchild. Can they do this?
Yes, they can. So Able accounts are limited to qualified beneficiaries. They have to have a legal disability and that disability has to have arisen before the person turned age 26. But assuming that you have a qualified Able account owner, other people, both the account owner can contribute their own income, but also, like you say, grandparents and friends can make contributions to the account for them. Everyone's able to have one Able account, so everyone would be contributing into the same account.
You talked about some of what can be used out of the fund. So one of the things you mentioned was a wheelchair, I believe. Mm-hmm. So what other examples are there of what you can buy with the funds out of that account?
The definition of qualified disability expenses is really broad. So it's really anything, there are a few limitations, but generally anything that will help a person with disabilities improve their quality of life. So accessible devices, entertainment, health and wellness expenses that aren't insured, housing, transportation, even legal fees and financial management, employment training and support, personal support services, companionship, oversight and monitoring of the Able account itself, so assistance with those kind of financial matters, and also funeral and burial expenses when needed.
So in the remaining seconds, are gifts to Able accounts subject to a gift tax?
The gift tax wouldn't typically apply to gifts to an Able account. They're within the annual exclusion, which is $15,000 from gift tax reporting or gift tax applying.
Okay, thank you so much, Heidi. Coming up next, we're going to talk to someone who has benefited from an Able account and then continue our discussion with Heidi. We'll be right back.